Yeah, so welcome to the second part of the series of how to perfuse long term a tiny part of the liver outside of the body. Um, yeah, and so I hope the first video was like understandable to some degree. I might actually redo this because, yeah, I think it might have been not clear enough. But anyways, let me first talk like now about I will talk about this. It's like relatively easy. I've added a lot of like visualizations. So yeah, the goal, to reiterate this, is kind of to get like a very, yeah, kind of basically the idea is to cut up a liver in a way where you have like some vessels which are still intact, and that you have like a tissue block sort of, where you have like an inflow and an outflow, and you kind of perfuse it with like whole blood, so that you have like you're the closest to in vivo conditions as possible. There are issues with this, and I will go into this. But yeah, let's just start with like kind of the progress which has been made over the week. Yeah, and the progress which has been made, or like more interesting for you probably, what I have learned. And yeah, so I mean, like, it's just like a random picture of like, for people who haven't been in a lab, you have to show, I don't know, that you have like those sort of things like probably in your lab fridge. I find this was probably interesting. Like, this is just culture for medium for tissue cultures. I won't be using this actually. My experience is like in a way simpler than this. Here is like something I've been like kind of trying out, and this is like a small bioreactor, and you can use it. You could potentially use it to perfuse. You perfuse like your small tissue part, your small liver. The issue, I mean, yeah, it's nice because we already had it in the lab, but the issue with this is kind of that the pumps which are like they go along are not super precise. Except this, it's like an interesting thing because like, I mean, the size is relatively small, so you could use it. I'm not entirely sure if I will. It also like has a heating system, and all of this just costs like $60, so it's relatively cheap. And it also has like multiple sensors for the heat. I think the flow as well, and like the light, but I don't care about the light, and the oxygen, and I don't care about the oxygen. But yeah, so this is kind of, I guess, like a nice thing to kind of put the tissue while it's being perfused. But yeah, I have to replace the pumps because they're not precise. They're called like peristaltic pumps, and the way they work is like not super precise because the tissue is so small, we need high precision because if like there's too much pressure, for example, or like if the pressure is too variable, then I think it's probably not going to be good for the tissue. If it's like too high, then of course it will just like destroy the tissue. But so this is kind of our perfusion system, and yeah, so I've been getting this started, and so here so we went through this, so kind of this is the perfusion system, and kind of here are some other depictions. I will, so those were kind of the insights. I went through this. I actually also perfused the first small liver part, which has been cool, but of course like it has been just for a very short time, and it has been like manual, and like there's no like I couldn't do any functional readouts or something, and it was also too big, and I couldn't say if it worked. So there's still a lot of improvements to be made. But like I guess it kind of goes to the point of like going from 0 to 1, kind of having something, which I realize is like very valuable, because then you have like a better understanding and you like plan better, because otherwise like everything is just your imagination, and you have like no grounding. So yeah, this has been kind of cool. I'm starting to get like now the tools as well, which I will talk about. Yeah. And then Um, Structuring some insights. So I think those were like the most relevant insights. I also realized that like I had to do a lot of structuring for the project and like kind of see how I will do everything, because this was not clear. And yeah, for the structuring, I didn't do it well. Yes, so I kind of just like went step by step, but I realized I kind of like need a bigger overview. And then you have the structuring and kind of so like I separated it into like the tool usage, the process, the system design, the supplies, and the adaptive planning to beyond different topics. Tool usage is just everything which kind of all the tools I will need to use to get like the small liver part. Process is everything which kind of like while you like get from your like the normal liver to the small liver part which is connected and like blood is being pumped through, so all of those steps are in this process and what I need to like do for that, and this includes the cutting and everything. System design is kind of the design for the system around it. So for example this and this I would count it, and like how to design the those channels, because I assume I won't be able to just use regular plastic, as well as like kind of the scaffold the tissue will be in, because the way it will be is that you have like some small part, like kind of you have like the whole thing, and then like here will be the tissue will be inside there, and yeah, so this will also kind of go for me in systems design. And you have supplies is kind of just how to get it, how to get the access, where will we access it from, and then like adaptive planning and beyond different topics are kind of assumptions I've made while I was going along the way, which might not be true, and kind of also putting the project into perspective. Yes. And so theory-wise, I got like a little bit further, kind of like, which I found very nice, is those pictures of like, you can see like here a sinusoid lumen. A sinusoid lumen just basically means if you have like a vein, a central vein, which is, so I mean all of the liver is like organized into like lobules, and lobules is just like, so actually I think I prefer the triad version. You will hear lobule a lot. It's like the triangle version is like you have like one central vein, three central veins, which is around one portal triad, and then from this portal triad, the blood will flow to the central veins, and they will flow through the sinusoid lumen. This is not important. And then you have here the central veins, so like I just described, and here you kind of see the holes, which are the sinusoids, which we see above here. And I think this is just like a very like beautiful, clear depiction of how this works. Yeah, I like it a lot, because it gives like you a lot of clarity. This is just like a standard staining, which means like you have a sort of like a plate, and there will be like it's just one sheet of cells, and then here you can kind of like it's a cross section, and here you can see like in the middle the central vein again, I guess. And here, so what was very hard to find is like a good image of the portal triad. Also, by the way, the portal triad, it just like consists of the hepatic artery, which is like the nutrient rich blood, and then the vein, which mixes with so there's like the portal vein which mixes with the hepatic artery, because like the hepatic artery kind of provides the nutrients, while the vein is kind of providing the process materials, or like the things which the liver needs to work on and like detoxify. Yeah. And so yeah, this is very hard to find like a good picture of the portal triad, because maybe it was just like I've searched it like in a bad way, but yeah, so here you can kind of clearly see the overlap between the hepatic vein and the other veins, and you can kind of see you could cut it potentially here, and then you would have like all of those things below. Yes. And this is kind of I'm actually not sure the size of this. It might be like the big size because like yeah, this might just mean how many people have like this thing versus how many people have this thing. But the interesting thing is what this kind of opened my eyes to is like, what if we actually cut and it's like kind of we cut here and this kind of goes like this, then we kind of like need to have like a very bigger cut to kind of include this whole thing because we kind of want to have the whole thing. And then we have like here on this side a lot of like necrotic tissue because this won't be perfused. And this might trigger like a lot of like inflammation, which because unfortunately like this inflammation can spread, which might kill then this vein as well. So this is something, yeah, which might be an issue. But on the other hand, liver has a great potential to regenerate. So right now, but I will probably still go deeper on this. Yeah, it's a question whether like the liver will survive or it will kind of like regenerate the parts, or it will die, or what will happen. Maybe like also because we actually use whole blood, the macrophages will just eat everything up and like clean it, because yeah, that's what macrophages do. And this is just like a very beautiful depiction, I think, of kind of the portal vein, which is the thing which is like both of the portal vein and hepatic arteries are inflows because they belong to the triad, like mentioned earlier. And you kind of can see how they are connected together, and you can also see that like you could cut this, for example, here relatively well. But yeah, also the whole thing is like very beautiful. And yeah, so one thing I bought from Amazon, because like you have to work like very precise, you need some tool to like move things or position things. Also, I like, since I have to cut it at the very precise way, this seems to be like a good option. And this costs like $120. So it's expensive, but compared to other tools, it's not that expensive. So I'm very excited to try it. It will arrive tomorrow. And I think that's the video.